All right, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Just Noise podcast. I am always joined with Logan Purdue, my partner in crime. Logan, how we doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, man. A pretty nice day outside today, so
I had the windows open for the
nice to
first
get
time in a
outside.
while. Yeah, dude, it's been
Yeah.
beautiful. So, yeah, anyway, we are joined tonight with some people that we've known for a long time. I mean, Eric, I haven't talked to before, but I've known Daniel for a number of years. Anyway, welcome our Reaping homies from Reaping Asmodeia. I don't want to say it wrong. I've been knowing you guys for so long, and I've heard people say it the other way too. It's
No,
like,
that's all right.
am I wrong? So anyway,
Nope,
You were
nailed
very
it.
correct.
You got it right.
yes, awesome. So yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. Awesome to talk to you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thanks. Thanks a bunch.
Absolutely.
So if you wanted to start off, go
yeah.
ahead, Logan. My bad.
Nope, you're okay. I was going to do what you were just about to say, so go for it. It's been a minute since we've done this not together.
Yeah, we're coming fresh off our first live interview, so thank you guys. But anyway, we always like to start off talking to our guests about their past and where they came from. So if you both individually wouldn't mind obliging us, tell us about where it all started for you guys.
I'm going to have him.
Oh, you're going to have me go first.
We're going to have the fresh blood go first.
All right, all right. I mean, do you want, you mentioned like past bands and stuff like that, so I guess I'll kind of start at the start for myself. I mean, I got into music in general just kind of how anybody does. Their grandmothers find them singing into a doorknob in an unfinished basement when they're 3 years old, as most people get into
As one
music
does.
that way. Yeah. So I got busted when I was like 3 years old singing Bruce Springsteen songs into a glass doorknob in my grandparents' basement, and thus it was written I would be in this band. So I guess it's kind of always lived inside me. Like, music has just always kind of drawn my attention. I got into heavy music because my uncle was into like Slayer and Metallica and White Zombie and stuff like that, and so that I really liked the intensity of all of it. But my parents were big into rock and roll and bands like Led Zeppelin and all that kind of stuff. So I grew up in that environment and then got more curious about heavy metal, and then it went into Pantera, and then I kind of got wrapped into the nu metal thing. Started my first bands when I was like 16, 17 years old. Met this goon when I was like 18 or something like that, right around there.
Yeah.
And then we were in kind of different bands coming up. I was in a few like nu metal meets kind of metalcore bands, and then we kind of at the same rate both got into heavier and heavier music, more into that technical kind of death metal-y vibe. And then I joined a band called The Body Beneath in like 2005, and that was kind of my first serious band.
Alex was in that band with you, right?
Yeah, he was in that band with me for a minute, near kind of the end of its run, and then I joined a band called Climactic, which is more of a thrash band, and again, like, inevitably we crossed paths there as well and played a lot of shows with our respective bands together, and then he was eventually in that band, and then Climactic led to me being in a band called Aetheric, which is like a melodic death metal band, here in the Twin Cities, and we had a good time with that for about 5 years. Again, Reaping and Aetheric played a lot of shows together, kind of all over the place around the region and stuff. And then I was kind of out of the picture after Aetheric split up. I dabbled in another band for a little bit called Descent of Man, played some shows with them and wrote some tunes and stuff, but then ended up sort of taking a back seat to do some more career-oriented stuff. I'm a personal trainer and nutritionist, and I wanted to get my own practice going, so I stayed focused on that for a couple years pretty intently and didn't do anything music-wise until these guys came around and this opportunity presented itself. I've kind of always wanted this job. I've kind of stood in the back and like, God, that's what I really wanted to do, obviously for a multitude of reasons, not just the music and everything, but also like my best friends were in the band, and so it's something I always wanted to be a part of. Stick with it, kids. Your dreams come true eventually.
Right.
You too can play death metal.
You too can play death metal to several people at a time.
Just it's a small crowd. No, but
Yeah,
no, that's
when it comes to dreams, set the bar incredibly low. So then
You could
when
wind
you
up
achieve,
right here.
you could be just like me.
super cool to hear that.
But,
You know, like
but-
you hooked up with these
Yeah.
guys because you know they've been killing it for a number of years, and I think you're a phenomenal vocalist. First off,
Thanks.
I did want to say Etheric, not off my radar. I had known of you guys at the time, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. I sold a vinyl to my friend the other day, and I was stuffing stickers into it just to have. And your guys' Marble Red sticker that you did, I included that and gave it to him because he's an avid Marble smoker. But anyway, so that
funny.
yeah,
That's
that was
awesome.
full circle. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So hell yeah, dude! I'd love to hear about that.
It's awesome. Yeah, that was a fun band to be a part of.
It's a sick band.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Good.
What about you, Captain?
Yeah, hit us with it.
I don't. So I don't really have. I'll try to give like a lot of this as condensed as possible.
Take your time. We
I
love
don't
it.
have. I don't have like a weirdly like artistic family or anything like that. I didn't have. I wish I would have had music from like, you know, very early age, like as far as being like thrown at it. Like, I mean, in a sense I was. So I got into metal from my aunt and uncle when I was really young. Probably, you know, there was like Michael Jackson and then, you know, stuff like that when I was super, super young. I was always very, very drawn into music when I think about it from a very young age. But then my aunt and uncle were the ones that got me into metal. Just kind of like the typical, like, you know, seeing bands from like the 80s and 90s, like you were drawn in by the art. And like I saw Seventh Son of the Seventh Son, an Iron Maiden album, and that was like, wow, like what is this? So my aunt and uncle were the ones that got me into like Iron Maiden and Halloween and, you know, Megadeth and all those bands and stuff. And I didn't actually start playing drums until towards the middle tail end of high school. I didn't get my actual first drum kit until I was 17, 18, so right at the end of high school. Like I said, I'll make this as short as possible, but I've told this story a very few times, and it's something that's super interesting and cool because like I grew up, like us and the After the Burial guys grew up together. When I first wanted to play in a band was when me and Justin Lowe met. When we met in high school, and Justin actually played drums in a band. And so I met Justin when I was like 15, 16, and he's like, hey, you know, come over, you should check out this band that I play in. It's like, yeah, let's go check it out. And so Justin played drums in that band, and I went over, and like I said, I had never touched a drum set at the time. I had never played drums or anything like that. They practiced and everything, and then they took a break, and they like one of the guitar players in that band, actually their dad had like a really awesome studio set up. So they had all the equipment and everything, and they took a break, and I was like, hey, can I mess around on the drums? And like, yeah, like, and they were out like, you know, probably smoking or whatever, you know, 15, 16 years old. And like I said, for some reason, I guess I could keep a beat, and I remember it really vividly, but I don't really remember what I was doing. But then one of the guitar players came down and was like, how long have you been playing drums? And I'm like, I've never touched a drum set in my life. The long and short of it, they ended up kicking Justin out. and that's how I ended up starting to play drums. We remained friends, because me and Justin were friends for a very, very long time. But yeah, that's actually that's how I started playing drums. So I ended up playing with those guys, and like just every once in a while going over and jamming with them and everything, and you know, doing the high school talent shows and stuff like that. And then towards the end of high school, right after I graduated and stuff, I started that was like my first band with a handful of guys, because Justin actually came back. And another funny story, because the the state fair, the Minnesota State Fair is going on right now. So we actually tried out at the end of high school. Justin came back and was playing guitar with us. We tried out for like the Minnesota State Fair, like for like the band show. I wish I like, I'll have to find pictures. Like I have pictures of all of us, and like, cause like that's when we were like, me and Justin were like super big into like way heavier music, or like finding heavier music. Like we were like finding out about Fear Factory and like Cradle of Filth and Cannibal Corpse and everything, like when we were 16, 17, 18 years old. But we were really big into nu metal too. So like these pictures of us like like I'll never forget, like we tried out like for these, you know, we were like probably the only band, a metal band out of all these millions of bands that tried out, and we had like crazy like nu metal hair and like all this shit, and they were just like, what the fuck is this?
The biggest parachute pants you've ever seen.
Like, yeah, like it just hilarious. So, but yeah, so like after that, I started getting, you know, the drive to want to be more serious with music, and I met other people, and like one of my like first like serious bands was a band called Section Hate, and that's where me and Eric actually met, like, you know, 18, 19, 20 years old, when we started actually like, hey, we're playing out, you're being serious at like, you know, getting involved in like the local scenes and everything. Right. And then I did that band, and then we were always like that way heavier band that kind of got engulfed into like the bar scene, like when nu metal was like such a big thing at that time, like, you know, in the early 2000s and stuff. We were always a way heavier band, and we never really fit into that mold of playing with a lot of those nu metal bands. And that, like, we ended up changing our name and changing our music style, and then like, you know, that band kind of like started to dissolve. And then I actually played with a band called With Dead Hands Rising for probably about 5 years. We did a lot there. Another super sick band from the Midwest.
That was with Burke when you were in that lineup, right?
Correct. That was right.
Very cool.
The first year that he was, probably about the first year that he was in the band when Colin left. So I did that, and then when the end of Dead Hands, like what was the first Reaping stuff was actually stuff that we were beginning to write for stuff after the Dead Hands album Expect Hell, because basically like 4 of us left that band at the time, like the 4 out of like the 6 band members that were like touring and everything. So, and that's essentially how Reaping started. And it's like
weird.
It's a really weird, like this whole story with like Eric involved and stuff is so weird, because I forget that he was initially involved in the very beginning when we started writing the Reaping stuff, and there's actually like promo photos.
Yeah, we took pictures and shit.
Like
Shit.
And I literally I had to
cool.
remind myself about this the last few years, because I forgot about that. Is we legitimately had promo photos taken, and I know they're archived somewhere.
Yeah, there's someplace.
But yeah, like, but it didn't work out at the time. Like, he had other stuff going on in his life and bands and stuff, and we went a different direction at the time. So, and he actually filled in
for
a few shows,
for a handful of shows
in
too.
between when our original vocalist Tim had throat problems and stuff, and he like kind of stepped away and then came back and stuff. But yeah, like, so he played a couple shows with us even in the middle of it in like 2015.
Yeah, 2015. Yeah,
probably 2014, 2015.
Yep.
So
right around then. And Tim was someone that I recommended when I didn't want to stick around, because I had still wanted to see what the Body Beneath could do, and so I kind of opted out of doing the Reaping thing, but I was also in this other band called Blood of a New War with Tim Snook, and I had been working with Tim on like developing his voice, because he came to me. We grew up in the same area, went to the same high school. My brother was in his class, graduating class, and so we knew each other, got to become really good friends. He like wanted a bunch of tips on becoming a better vocalist, and knew that I was kind of the only guy in that Monticello, Minnesota area who was doing anything seriously with metal. And then we were doing this band in where we had 2 vocalists, and we were kind of using it as a jumping off point, because I was going to hand him that band and just stay in the Body Beneath. Well, I was also doing this thing with these guys, so I had my hands full with all these different things. And And then I just recommended Tim. I was like, why don't you do this thing? If you really want to tour and get into it, like, these are the guys you want to be around. And so he worked his ass off and tried out and got the spot. And so that was kind of cool to see that kind of connection too. And yeah, this is a full circle kind of thing for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's pretty sweet.
It's got to feel really good, though.
See it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels great. You know, the chemistry is obviously there, and we're writing cool stuff, and the band gets along well because we're all good buddies for a long time now, and so.
Yeah, and that is the thing, is that like all, you know, the 4 members in the band presently are all people that have, like, you know, we've all known each other for at least like 19, 20 years.
Yeah,
Like me
yeah.
and Eric have known each other, like I said, since we were like 18, 19 years old.
And we're 43 now, so.
And so yeah, like Alex and Jacob, because Jacob filled in with Dead Hands Rising. That's how Jacob came into the
Yep.
picture with things. He toured and traveled with us like the last like 3 to 5 months of that band before we all left to start Reaping. So it is like, it's one of those things where like you forget. Like I'm lucky that I have the memory that I do, but you forget about all these like little things, like, you know, that bring you to where you are right now. Because I mean, when, you know, 35, 40, 45 years, it's a lot of time, and it's
a lot of crap to remember.
a lot
Yeah.
of things to remember. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it is really interesting. Like our dynamic with the 4 of us right now is very like, we still are very serious, and we take what we do very seriously, and the time and the effort is there, but it makes it that much better playing, like, you know, obviously like a niche genre where you have a group of guys that at least have like, we can still hang out with each other. You know, we don't like just play music and then hate each other,
take it
or
too
like
seriously,
play music
yeah.
and just like, you know, don't really hang out or have any kind of like personal connection with or bond.
Yeah.
'Cause that's, and there's definitely something to be said about that, like, you know, in like the kind of music we play. Because if you don't have some kind of dynamic where you are having fun and respect each other, it's like, well, what do you really have at that point when you're playing death metal or metal in general?
Right.
Yeah, and
There's-
we're like
yeah.
not. I mean, if you've seen us play live recently, like, we're not taking ourselves too incredibly seriously on. I mean, we are, because we're up. Like, we know we have what the job is, right, to be on stage and entertain and everything like that. But we all take that in and process it as like making sure that we're outwardly having a good time with each other on that stage every time. Like, every time, it doesn't really matter how many people are in the audience. Every time we step on stage, the worst thing that can happen is basically like that we got to have a good time playing music with each other. Like, that's like, even if
Yep.
there's 5 people in the crowd, whatever, we got to have a good jam. We got to hang out
Right.
and play. So that's like, that's as tough as it gets, you know, sometimes. Thankfully.
You
Thankfully.
can always walk away with that. That's good to hear. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys
So-
just got back from your tour. You guys were out with Gore Pig, right?
We were.
Yeah. Shout out Dakota Winters. He's an awesome musician. I love him. How was the tour for you guys?
Sick.
Yeah, it was fun.
Anything going through Canada is typically going to be awesome.
Yeah,
Canada
that was-
loves metal, so
Yeah.
That was
and
my first
poutine.
time in Canada, and it was good. I was really impressed with the crowds, and just the audience members were all great, and just fans were really cool to be around. The venues were awesome too. All of them had locking bathroom doors,
Oh man, you can't.
which is a luxury you seldom get while you're out on the road,
You
especially
don't have
in
to
the
walk
US.
out and tell somebody like, "Hey, don't come in here. I'm taking a shit right now."
Yeah, you gotta get a guard dog for the shitter door. But yeah, like that fest in Drumheller, that Loud as Hell fest was super fun, and yeah, a lot of pretty drives. So good tour.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go back to kind of like what you guys were talking about, different doing vocals and playing drums and stuff. I wanted to kind of ask, like, what's your approach to your specific instrument, I guess, like, of your writing style, and like what is something that you try to bring to the table, like your piece of the puzzle, I guess.
Vocally for me, it obviously, like, in doing this, you're seeking some sort of catharsis, like lyrically or even like physically, with the way that the vocals feel being delivered, right? And the emotiveness behind it. So I'm trying to, in all the music that I've had the pleasure of being involved with, it's always been really technically heavy, like, and very fast, and a lot going on, a lot of riff changes, that kind of stuff, whether it was Body Beneath or Etheric or now Reaping. And so I always try to be the anchor of some semblance of catchiness and something that the listener can grasp onto, to like
That's
take
cool.
them through the instrumental journey. Like, and that means, like, in Reaping, that means being very percussive, because everything kind of stems from the rhythms and the grooves that the drums are going with. You know, sometimes we break off and have the vocals travel with the guitar for a little bit, but it's always in the interest of like keeping the song together and like making a cohesive, flowing, almost complete thought, essentially.
Okay.
And then
It's a complete contradiction in our music.
Exactly, right, yeah. But it seems to work out okay. But I think that for me, it's about delivering this balance of intensity and like different tones and a full range of vocals between high, mid, low, and everything in between, but not losing the enunciation and like still. I really like hooks. Like, I like vocal hooks. I like catchy things. I'm a big rap hip hop fan. You know, not to the extent that like Archspire guy is or anything like that, but it doesn't transfer over, I should say, quite so much into my vocal delivery in the band. But I do tend to like enough space. I like fast staccato-y stuff too, and like super fast deliveries and everything, but I don't like it where you lose the lyrical content, or like you have to like dig too deep to find that, you know?
Right.
So
Wanna be
that's
able
kind of
to
what I try to
hear
accomplish
what you're saying
there.
and interpret
Yeah,
the
yeah,
message
like-
appropriately. Yeah.
Let the tones and stuff like deliver some of that emotiveness too. It doesn't have to be so like just noise in your face all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm always looking to accomplish there. Tell a story, more or less.
What did he say?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of that. None of that shit.
I like narrative lyrical styles. I'm a big Trevor Black Dahlia Murder fan. Like the way that he structures lyrics and the way those guys go about their lyrical presentation has always been a massive influence on me.
Okay. Hell yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorites growing up from, being a kid till now.
Yeah,
so
the Acacia
that's cool.
Strain too is another massive influence for me. Like just the way that the way that Vincent's able to convey this like lyrical just devastation in these lines that play off each other, and there's just this certain level of smartass to it all.
Yep.
And I really like that sarcasm, that like playing words against each other and that kind of stuff. Like I really like that.
Which era of the Acacia Strain is your favorite, the current or the DL and Dan era?
Man, that's tough. I really like the current stuff, but I mean, DL and Dan is where I really fell in, Continent and Wormwood, and like those records are, we now, both of us have kind of come back around to Death is the Only Mortal being a really unique and sick record too. Like,
That's one of my favorites. I love the Chambered Nautilus. That's probably one of my favorite songs of theirs of all time. That
Hell
riff
yeah.
is just so awesome.
big on Coma Witch too, and Grave Bloom. Like that whole like series of 4 or 5 records is really, really solid for that band.
Definitely agree. Hell yeah, I could nerd out to that forever, but definitely. I was curious about your approach to stuff too, Daniel. I'm sorry.
I guess what I can bring to to Reaping and the music that we write and the music that I play is probably just really it's emotion.
Okay.
Pretty much everything that music is such a music and playing drums is like such a bigger thing than just I'm in a band and I play music. Like music and what it is in my day-to-day life is such a way more profound thing than just this sounds cool, or I'm just doing something to pass the time. So I think that in turn that probably that's a big part of my personality that is put into like the time and the effort that at least that's what I guess I hope when someone's asking me that, is that the emotion and the drive and just like it's just so much more than just like, yeah, we're writing a heavy song. It's like methodical. The I I have I'd like to think I have like just an ear for like for our music, putting things together and kind of like having an idea of where we need to take things and write our music, because like we never, like, truth be told, and I've said this before, but like we never intended this band to be so crazy and so chaotic, like, you know, and obviously that is always going to be there, but you know, when we wrote that first record, that was never our intent. It just kind of, unfortunately, it's like me and Alex, it's like, want to play crazy fast stuff, but we want to write catchy things, and it's like you get two people that didn't understand how to like tone it down and not play 500 riffs in a song. You know, it's a weird thing, and with this band, more and more, and I think that the, like, you know, the material that we put out this past year, the two songs which were like a concept piece put together, both the songs are very different, and they were written that way for very intentional reasons. Like, you know, one song is way more just blast, grindy and chaotic, and the other song, you know, had like a little more room to breathe. It's still chaotic and jarring, but you know, I think that I think that over the years, I'm trying to figure out how to write our songs and write things where it's not like, that was a cool part. Where the fuck, you know, and then it was gone. Like,
Yep.
we're
Right.
You know, we're figuring out where we
Got some repetition and some hooks and stuff going on now, and yeah.
But yeah,
No,
to get off a little bit, but I think that what I can bring to the band, I think, is just that personally. I hope that it's just my drive and my personality and my emotion, because everything that I do and everything with this band is, you know, it's very wholehearted. It's very, very, we don't, even at this point, 15 years in, you know, like our, you know, 15-year anniversary is this year, and there's nothing
awesome.
that's nothing that's like being half-assed. Yeah, it's crazy to think that we've been a band for that long.
You guys are beasts, dude. I don't know if you remember, because I'm old, and you might not remember. It was the first time I ever met you / saw Reaping, the Great American Bash. With,
I will never
Danny
forget
Shea.
that show, actually.
Whether you remember me or not, that's the question, because you were in the sunlight.
Exactly.
Like the sun was hitting
frying and fucking horrid.
Yep.
Fucking just dying.
I share that video every year in remembrance of you, because it was just like, what the fuck am I watching right now? You're just fucking shredding this kit, and you're beat red like the devil in the fucking sunlight.
Like, fucking no joke. I was like dying.
Yeah, dude, for real. And that was about halfway through the day. That was such a long day. So, yeah, that was the first time I ever saw you guys. I was like, oh my.
And dude, we talked about that show not that long. I mean, because that was like, for me, that was like, me and my lady actually met at that show that, you know, we've been together for 12, 13 years. Like,
congrats.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, she's fucking amazing. So there's a lot of reasons that I'll remember that show, but specifically, it was, we were talking about it where it was, where I was, like, in the part of the day, it's like, everybody else was underneath that band shell.
Yep.
And I was the only one, like, getting that song.
Oh.
Because I was, like, set up, you know. Yeah, dude, that was a fun show.
Me and Brad West were standing directly behind you, and I took videos, because it was just like, this guy's dying right now. Somebody needs video footage of this if he has to go to the hospital. Like,
yep.
So anyway, you've been fucking trucking ever since, my man. Yeah.
Yeah, I was super excited when Brandon told me that you guys had agreed to do this, because you're one of my like favorite drummers. So I was really curious to ask you that question and stuff.
Thank
like
you.
I love just listening to you guys, like the different stuff that you're able to place in parts. Like, I don't know, I know nothing about drums whatsoever, but like, you're one of my favorites to listen to, like, beat the shit out of them. That's fucking awesome.
Thank you, man.
Make it look easy, bro.
You're welcome. Yeah, For real.
I would never. I'm not that drummer at all. I don't make any. There's nothing
I-
that I do that looks like I would make look easy. Like I'm. But that's that's the thing, is that goes back to, you know, Logan's question, and it's, I'm way more of an expressive individual when it comes to music. Like I'm like a huge black metal fan. I love just, my love for technical and fast music just grows as I get older. But I'm that's what's difficult, is I'm not that guy that just sits there and plays. Like I don't have that in me. I don't,
Right.
you know, like I don't have that.
So I'm curious, before Logan starts firing off, he's got some questions for you guys. So between the both of you, I know, Eric, you said that you started off with these guys rocking and rolling, and then you came back later on. Between the both of you, are there any specific tracks that throughout your discography or throughout Reaping's discography that you're really excited to play, or also scares you to try to tackle if you don't play it on a regular basis?
All of our music
Yeah.
scares us.
All of it terrifies us to have to learn and perform
Just looking
every
back, you're like,
single time. Yeah.
There is not, yeah, and like the same thing. That's
It took me a year to be able to hit the vocal break in Shattered Leviathan on time, all like consistently in that. So for like the first, I don't know, however many shows, I was miffing it. I'd miss it, come in early, come in late, just. But it's because I would get in my own head about it. It had nothing to do with the timing of it. But it's like, pressure's on, and of course, like, until you get that muscle memory down, you know,
Yep.
just kind of fumble the ball a little bit. But yeah, I mean, every single practice, I think we end every practice with like, all right, well, that was all right, okay.
They're like, all right,
That was
let's keep
good.
going. Like,
But I think if there's a track that I was like so excited about, I think it would be sick to, especially with it being the anniversary of the band, like bring back a song from Poison the Earth and put it in the set again for like the last half of the year or something like that. Like that would be cool. And then Terrified Of, I think Consequence of Being from Dark and Infinity would be one of the songs I would be terrified of playing, just because it's as a holy shit ripper, and there's a lot of changes in it, a lot of weird rhythm stuff. So yeah, that's a pretty sick track.
so we'll expect that one next time we see you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold your breath.
we only played that a handful of times
Yeah.
the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fucking hard song to play.
Yeah.
But I don't, like I said, I don't. I'm a very grounded individual, and I know how easy it can be to be humbled by your instrument. And I've never, like, there's nothing. And what seems easy is sometimes the hardest shit. Like, there's nothing like, and when you play technical metal, it's a sport.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's something to be said for all instruments, but like especially drums, it's like drums are just very different than vocals are probably the only thing that's like resemblant of drums, because you're relying so much more on your whole body, like how much energy you have, like
And the cadences,
You have,
like, yeah.
yeah, there's just so many more variables than like playing a stringed instrument. So it's not metal music in general, even if it's not something that's as chaotic as what we do, you can't be just like a leisure player.
Yeah, you got to
It's
be
not
on top of it.
it's not something that like, oh, I practiced my instrument like once a week and I'm playing in a bunch of, like, unless you're like that anomaly. Like, there is drummers out there that are like that, but they're not. It's very few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Most
few,
of the
but-
most amazing drummers are the ones that
Don't want to play drums.
It's
like,
it's part. It's yeah. It's part of their daily routine. It's part of like their job.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything specifically that
scares you.
I mean, it doesn't scare me. It's just day to day, the nuance and the feel of things. Like it's playing a show. It's just, there's so many variables. So like that edge, you know, your job as a professional is to like always have that edge.
Yeah.
And every show has to be if you're smart, you want it to be your best show. But if you are, in turn, if you are a professional, you know that the way you feel is not going to be the same every day.
But it can't look like you feel
But you
any
have
different.
to fake your way through it.
Yeah, you got to be on top of it.
So
I mean, you could
yeah,
think you had the worst show of all time, and somebody in the crowd would be like, "Bro, you did awesome! Like this is the best show that you guys have ever done." And you're like, "Oh, well,
It happens all the
never
time.
mind. I'll let it go." Like, yeah,
Yeah, and that's the only thing you really can do is you got to let whatever personal attachments to whatever happened during that 45 minutes or whatever that you were playing, like if you messed something up or missed something or whatever, like if you let that stuff bother you, you're not going to be in this business very long, like playing that music, because it'll just eat you fucking alive. Like your own mindset will just swallow you whole. You won't be able to do it anymore. It won't be something you could do forward facing at all. You'll just end up in the shadows, like, you know, making music in your basement, which is fine too if that's where you land, like whatever. But like if you want to do this, you know, out and play shows and whatever, then you got to have a certain level of confidence about you and be able to deliver that each time, no matter how you actually feel. You have to be able to go in and compartmentalize that shit and just sell it. It's all pro wrestling. It's all pro wrestling. You got to sell. Sell.
and I like from what he was saying too, I think that personally, whether it's true or not, I feel like I've gotten that much better at my instrument the last 2 to 4 years because I've worked at trying to let go of like my screw ups and my inconsistencies and all of that, because you can't avoid that. You can't, you know, if you want to play live, you can't control every fucking variable.
Yeah, there's going to be human error no matter what.
Exactly. Like, there's no way around that. So, like, because I used to be a lot harder on myself. Like, I'm very much like, you know, I want to be on top of my shit. And everyone that, like, if you want to be the best you can be, you should be that way to agree. But at the same time, you know, now most of the time I'm like laughing off my fuck ups, you know, like, or at least I'm trying to. And I think that because that's human element, and like the people that I look up to the most behind my instrument, like as far as drummers, like people that I've seen, you know, 10, 12, 20 times, it's like I've seen the top echelon fucking players that I look up to like fuck up. And like the ones that stand out are the ones that's like, the fuck was that, you know, or like, you know, they're just like, god damn it.
You can just keep playing it off.
You just keep going.
Most people won't know.
You keep playing. You either laugh about it. That's the one thing. It's like you either laugh about it or you act like it didn't happen, because it's going to happen. And like the people in the crowd, one, they might not ever even fucking know, and two, those people don't give a shit about the problems that you're having. So like,
they paid money to get through the door. They're looking for a show. Like that's all
they
want is
be
the money's worth.
If there's some fucking nerd on Reddit that's like, they fucked up this part at this time, and like, no, fuck that person. Yeah.
Well, they're just unhappy with everything. Like
Eric was saying earlier, man, like, you got to have fun with it. Like, if you're being too crucial on yourself because you messed up one specific part and you're just obsessing over that, you lose sight of everything that happened for that whole night. Like, it was an experience. Enjoy it. Like, sometimes shit goes wrong. The Titanic fucking sank. Like,
yeah. The Titanic sank. Get over it. Like,
it's been 100 years now, guys.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that's a fact.
Matter of fact. I hate that expression. Okay. Well, Logan's got some more questions for you guys. So
hit us with it.
All right. So this one, both of you, I guess, answer. Was there like did you either? God, I can't talk. Did you have a defining like moment where you like decided like music is like what I want to focus my like time and energy, like this is what was there like that defining moment for you that like this is what I'm doing no matter what I can, you know?
You know, I'm yeah, kind of in a weird way. So I had just kind of started taking things off with the Body Beneath, like things were kind of ramping up and we were trying to get to be a touring band, you know, kind of. I was really looking to emulate my other friends who were out doing this that way, you know. I wanted to join them in this adventure, you know, and then I ended up having a kid at 23, essentially, and that definitely put you know, a wrench in the works, so to speak. Limited my ability to go out and do what I wanted to do. But I'll never forget it. They hand you your kid for the first time, and the thing that I thought of the most, everybody, the entire lead up to when my daughter was going to be born, just constantly, oh, your life's going to change. You're going to have to stop doing this. You're going to have to stop doing that. You're going to have to do this. This is going to have to be different. All this shit. And telling me what's what. And to a degree, they were right, but I have a very defiant attitude when it comes to authority, just for authority's sake. You know, it doesn't really matter. Like, you got to hit me with some logic. And it just didn't make any sense to why I would have to set all of my dreams aside. Yes, being a father is complicated, and there's a lot of time, and you have to work and all this kind of stuff. But, like, I just remember thinking to myself, if I abandon my dreams right now, what kind of example will I actually be setting, like on a principled philosophical level, for my daughter? Like, what if she wants to do something that everybody else in the whole world thinks is outlandish? Like, who am I supposed to be like, well, you know, your dad kind of tucked his tail between his legs and ran off afraid because his life changed, so you should do the same thing as that, you know? Like, I don't want to have to give that advice. That's shit advice.
Right.
So I just decided that I would keep pursuing it no matter what. And, you know, again, set that bar low. And then you can accomplish those dreams.
Accomplish it all.
But to the point, like, that's where it kind of stems from for me. That was like my moment. Like, I don't ever want to stop pursuing this, and let, you know, come what may, good, bad, or otherwise. But, you know, that's where it kind of comes from for me.
Hell yeah.
And she's
That's
super
really
proud
cool.
of me. Like, she's 20 years old now. She's like super proud of me for doing it still, and she's all behind me and really supportive. So
That's awesome.
that all shook out.
Well, you guys give us inspiration straight up still. I mean, like, we've been at it for a long time, but like hearing you guys talk about it. So, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't, like, me personally, I don't have like any kind of like defining moment. Like, and that's why, like, you know, I'm 43 years old, and I haven't stopped chasing like the things that I want. And it's like, I've been playing music for, you know, like seriously, like for like 25 years at this point, which is a really weird thing to think. Apparently something was there for me, my personality, my, like,
It was
same
just
thing.
right away.
I went, you know, my parents aren't religious by any means, but I went to like Catholic private school and like that whole shtick. And I think that that's probably part, you know, that's played into a lot of things in my life in some sense. But that strong edge for defiancy, and that's probably, you know, like metal is like, it was the scary thing and, and
Right.
all that stuff. And yeah, it's just, I think that, like, as I got older, whatever it was that made me want to play drums and play music, I tried my best just to lean into it. I didn't like fight that. I think that everyone has those moments, you know, when I look back, like, at my late, you know, because, like, at this point, it's like we started this band when I was like 29, 30, 31 years old, which is, you know, far along in your adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that as I've gotten older, I've just leaned into what I felt like, apparently I'm supposed to be doing this.
Right. No, I feel you.
Apparently I'm supposed to be grinding out and playing, you know, rock and roll when it comes down to it, just doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, and his example has provided a lot of inspiration for me in doing that, seeing him never quit, you know. So, because like I said, before I joined Reaping, I was sort of out of it, you know, for a little while. And what really got me back into it was a couple of things, but namely the guitar player and kind of musical mastermind behind Etheric, Stu Stelter. He ended up taking his own life in 2021. And so that was kind of the end of that band. And he and I had kind of, the way those songs came together for that EP and that full length of that band were very much he and I collaborating together on a lot of that stuff. And when he ended up passing away, you know, Daniel and I we weren't like not close, but we hadn't been super close for a couple of years at that point, because I had sort of taken a step back from things. and to focus on all that career stuff. And it was Stu passing that kind of like fired up some conversations between Daniel and I again. And then we had this second climactic record that's been sitting on the shelf for like a decade, and Stu passing away kind of spurred some conversations into us working on getting that finished finally. And then that kind of transitioned into, you know, wanting to join the Reaping fold at a certain point. You know, it kind of became almost an inevitability, and it wasn't that I didn't have to work to get into it, because I had to do a lot of work to actually prove myself to join the ranks of these guys', you know, tight knit thing that they had going on.
Back up.
Yeah, for sure, and that took a while. But like, I wouldn't have done that if he wouldn't have been so encouraging and just like, he's like, just come back into the fold, come back in, you know you want to, you know. And so I, you know, weak me, I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. It didn't take too much twist into the arm to
and then he regretted it ever since that moment.
Yeah. My self-esteem has taken quite the hit.
I can't sleep at night.
Yeah, that's right. Tossing and turning.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
But that's like, and that goes back to, you know, kind of what we were talking about before. Like, we're not. Everybody in this band is so overly exceptionally talented at their instruments, but none of this is easy.
Yeah.
Like none of what we do, like. And there's, like I said, I just, God, there was, I think it was Matt, the drummer from Mudvayne, you know, and how he talks about, like, LD50 and everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just saw that video the other day when they did the video, behind the scenes video, where he just, like, fell over and was like,
there's tons of musicians that talk the same way that, like, he did and, like, we do, where it's like, this isn't easy. Like, this just doesn't come. Like, this is a lot of work.
It's tons of work.
Giving it your all, man. Yeah.
That's
a passion.
Myself and, like, everyone in this band, it's like, well, we're kind of chasing that. Like, you set that bar, and you're always here. So you're always kind of, like, you know, doing
always
that,
raising
like,
it.
ladder where you're never going to just be like, yeah, I'm just going to be able to do all this all the time. It's like, no. You're going to kind of be, like, chasing that, like, level of expectation, no matter what you're doing, whether it's fast, slow, or easy, or simple.
If it's slow, you got to be better about your timing. If it's faster, you have to be better about your precision. You know, like, it's just, there's never not something to improve on and, like, try to sharpen that blade with. And that's, for me, that's definitely part of the appeal, is that I hate it when something is too terribly easy skill-wise or whatever. Like, there's no interest in that, and as frustrating as this can be, and it can be really, really fucking frustrating. It can, like he mentioned, like, humble you a great deal, especially when, you know, we're tracking something and it sounds easy. It sounds like it should be easy, but then it's just not there. Or, you know, like, how do you not let that just wreck you, you know, and you just keep coming back to the well and keep trying and trying and trying, and so inevitably you get it, or hopefully you get it. But yeah, none of this stuff's easy at all.
It's got to be beyond rewarding, though, when you finally do hit that zenith and you fucking nail that part. And Daniel's going to be that 80-year-old man still blasting away faster than everybody else.
Yeah,
he'll get up from the kit with the walker, and he's still just going to be fucking faster than everybody else.
That's right.
I don't think that's the case. I figured I've accepted that I'm probably going to be like a Nick Menza, where I'm going to die behind my drum kit.
Yeah.
Like go on a legend.
We could all be so lucky.
But I mean, in all honesty, I mean, I have no clue where, you know, 3, 5, 10 years of my life, you know, will take me. But my life, I don't see myself, like, not behind a drum kit. Like, it's not even that drums, like, define me completely, but in a contradiction, like, to itself, like, apparently this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I guess, yeah, I will be trying to blast, as, you know, into my elder years.
Let's go.
But and that being said, like, you know, that's why we are still throwing everything that we have into this band because like I mentioned earlier, it's you can't as much as it sucks and that's it's reality, you can't play professional football when you're fucking 80 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
There's limitations with all this stuff and playing like really aggressive music and being a drummer. It's like I want to do this as long as I can. So
You just got to start wearing
yeah,
a helmet
like-
while you're playing drums.
hey man, I mean technology with the way it's moving, as I'll have some bionic limbs, when I'm 80 maybe.
There you go.
They'll be assisting me.
I just wanted to know, where did the name come from? Because it's kind of a unique name. So I was just curious where the name came.
So when we were throwing around ideas for the name, we knew that we didn't want a one-word band title. Like me and Alex at the time, because at that point Jacob had kind of taken a step back. Jacob was with us with Dead Hands. We left that band, and then me and Alex and some of the other guys were starting to figure out another band and stuff. And Jacob came in a little bit later when we started Reaping, but we had like all these words and all these phrases, and like Reaping was one. And Asmodeus and Asmodeia, and like there's like 6-10 different ways to spell Asmodeus, which is from like Dante's Inferno and everything. So I was like, oh well, Reaping's really cool, and like the ideas behind Asmodeus, like the demon god that pertains to like lust and wrath and all these things. It's like, well, that's really fucking sick. So I was like, well, these are two words that sound fucking sick, and they work
Hell
together.
yeah.
And at the time, and it's still, I guess, like to this day, like for me, like the idea is that like most of the worldly and daily problems that like a human being encounters like pertain to like everything that we lust after, and that's most of mankind's demise is like there's something tied to that idea.
Coveting, lusting.
So I think that at this point it was like a combination of we wanted something cool, we wanted more than one word, and then something that meant something. Like I personally wanted something that meant something. So at least me personally, I think that talking about it now, it still holds, especially with the where a lot of things are in the world now. And I think it does hold its weight in a meaning to myself and like maybe to other people if they actually know it's not just some complicated band name that
right.
don't really know how to say how to pronounce or whatever.
Reaping Pepto-Bismol.
Well, cool. Love to hear the origin stories for that. Like a lot of bands don't necessarily have an explanation.
No.
Right.
My band totally no. But I was curious. I've seen you guys talking about it. So tell me a little bit about your hot sauce ventures, where all that started and where that's going to
go. So one of our really close friends, Kale, he actually is our merch guy. He's with us most of the time.
It's like the fifth member of the band, basically.
Because we played a festival in Iowa on Friday night, and he was with us for that. He's with us for the majority of the touring and the traveling that we do, but he's always made hot sauces and salsas and stuff. And like Jacob is super big into hot sauce, and I mean all of us are. Mm-hmm. But I was like, yeah, we need to make a fucking hot sauce, because we usually try to keep our merch game like really widespread and like a lot of shit. So Kale, like at the time, Kale's like, I can fucking do that, because he was thinking about starting to get into making hot sauce himself. So that's pretty much where it came from. He makes it, like, we threw ideas into it, and like Jacob's like super big into like hot sauce and everything. So like they like bounce ideas back and forth. And we made a couple versions of it now, and we're gonna keep doing it. Like, it's something that's just there with our merch now. So yeah, like our buddy Kale is like, like we smoke all the peppers and everything here, and
yeah, it's all homemade, very homemade.
Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
sick. It's like it's cool because it's something that like people try it, and it's like, wow, this actually, because it has like we have more than one version, but the hotter version, like the Reaper Strength one, is just like has a lot more balls, like a lot more Reaper peppers and stuff. But yeah, it's like even just our regular version, it has like a lot of flavor. Like it has a lot of garlic in it. I like a lot of garlic. Kale does, and you know, Jacob just likes his fucking
Heat.
he just wants it to be the hottest thing ever, but but he can take the fucking heat. I personally don't like hot sauce that's just like through the roof to kill you. Like I'm
I'm
a
with
fucking
you there.
pussy, I guess.
I want it to have
I'm a pussy.
flavor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want something that I can like put on like
Every bite, like you sit there and like do this, like that's me.
Yeah.
Like I want something that I can. It's tasty and not gonna kill
Eggs,
me.
pizza,
so.
yeah, it goes great on everything kind of deal.
Mhm.
Yep, for
Hell
sure.
yeah! Do you guys have any of that in stock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you ship it?
Yeah, absolutely. We can get you some.
I'll talk to you guys about that later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, Logan, hit him with any questions you got, my man.
That was my last
Hit
one.
us.
Was the where the name came from?
You better
All right.
make one up then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you both have been in bands a lot together over the years. So
Yeah.
are there any tracks from any previous bands that you guys would love to like go back? I know you've mentioned something earlier. I felt like maybe go back and like maybe I don't know. Is there anything you'd love to like redo or like anything listening back that you're like that would be fun to redo with like a different take now that you're like you've grown and matured as musicians? It's like, why did we do that there? We could have done this and it would have hit different type of thing.
I don't think like since kind of like, you know, everything that we've talked about since he's been around since the very beginning, as we're working on like all this new music, we've talked more and more about like Poison of the Earth, and like, you know, for us there was so many like really fucking sick riffs and like sick breakdowns on that album, but it was just so much. Like every song, like we like on that album, it's like we just turned into like a technical fucking metal band. Like it was just riff. So like I don't think there's anything that necessarily we want to redo, but there's definitely concepts and like orientations from that album that we would like to lean into and put it more in our songwriting approach at this point, where it's like, oh, we could play this a handful of times, or we could come back to this, like
Or it might harken a little bit to that era of the band, but it's kind of more in the more modern context, the updated context of the group and songwriting abilities and things like that. But taking some of those principles that the band used to write those songs and kind of putting that back into this mix, that's something we've talked about quite a bit, especially lately. And as we're kind of moving forward, you know, these first two tracks that we wrote together, musically they were kind of already together for the most part before Jacob and I were really in the lineup. They were kind of already completed structurally for the most part, and then we each got to come in and kind of, you know, Daniel and I collaborated on the vocals and the whole outline of how that was going to be delivered and the lyrical content and everything like that, as well as the artwork and all that was all very collectively done and collaborated on. But now moving forward, we kind of have a little bit more. You know, there's four dudes all kind of giving input into this thing now, and it's going to be cool to see where it goes. And some of those elements will probably make an appearance, I would imagine.
Hell yeah, I'm excited for that. That's cool.
Yeah. Yep.
That was my on the spot question.
Cool. Good one.
All right.
Well, boys,
Brandon?
we're getting to that. I was gonna say we're getting to that time here for us. If you have any questions for us, hit us with it. Otherwise, this is your time to plug yourselves up. Talk about anything you got coming up. This episode will probably be up. Try to get it out tomorrow. So if anything coming up that you guys want to plug, anything, let us know.
Right now, we just have like a handful of regional stuff. We're playing Hardship's last show September 20th. It's just outside of the Cedar Falls, Waterloo, Iowa. We have there's some shows we haven't announced yet. Like we're playing outside of Milwaukee thing in the starting of October. We're playing Slamoween in Sheboygan, Wisconsin,
Yep.
October 17th, and Yeah, we did like we're writing a bunch right now. We do have an anniversary show and some stuff that we have planned for December, but it's all
Under wraps right now.
Yeah. But yeah, we do have like a 15-year anniversary thing that we are planning, which is pretty cool, and like some really cool stuff around that. But yeah, like we just put out Sanctuary of Poison a couple weeks ago, right before that tour we were on.
Yeah, if you haven't checked that out yet.
We do have another track that's coming out in about a month and a half, 2 months. So we have more music that's coming out before the end of the year, and right now we're just writing. Like we have a lot of music and a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work
that we're
ahead of
doing.
us.
But yeah, that was kind of our intent. The next couple months is just like play a handful of cool shows, but maybe not do any tours. Like to just really focus on all the music and all the concepts and stuff that we really, just want to get out there, share more of our craziness. I guess.
Whatever craziness we do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We love it all. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're really excited to hear anything new from you guys. As always, anytime that you're in town, we'll try to make it out. So,
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
well, we're going to wrap it up here, folks. As always, it's been Just Noise. Thank everybody for joining us. Peace out.
Easy.
Thanks for having us.